Oh wow, this video is short. This video is only five. Okay, it was 5 minute
I know I
video.
haven't
Let's go.
uploaded a video in a long time due to school stuff, but I just wanted to give my thoughts after the ban list was announced. I was surprised that
Dude,
one
it's a
card
5 minute video. Stop hating, chat. It's
didn't get
five
hit, but it
minutes.
happened in the OCG, and that was the banning of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. One thing I've seen people discuss online is how they think Crimson Dragon should be banned instead of King Calamity. And I'll be honest here, I don't think that's a good idea. I feel like banning the Crimson Dragon won't solve the problem that we're dealing with King Calamity, and in this video I'll be explaining why. Okay, for those who don't know what's going on between these two cards, let me explain. People are using the Crimson Dragon's tag out effect to summon King Calamity on the opponent's turn. And because it's treated as a synchro summon, King Calamity's effect
Oh,
activates, locking the opponent from using any cards. Oh yeah, they can't respond to King Calamity.
this is cute. This is cute. Press F if we can't do this in the wow. It's so sad that they banned Mathmech Circular, bro. Mathmech would actually be kind of cute right now, but yeah, this is not. I've never seen this combo done before, but like we can't do it anymore.
His effect as
Not
well.
TCG
Just thought I
anyways.
should add that in there. Because of this, people believe that Crimson Dragon should be banned instead, since it makes summoning out Calamity a lot easier. And while I understand this logic, in theory, Calamity itself is not the easiest monster to summon with requiring specific materials. However, there's one aspect that people fail to understand. Cards like Calamity were bound to become broken at some point. In fact, King Calamity was used this way before the Crimson Dragon was even made. Pure Punk
Yep.
used cards like Hulk and Chaos Ruler to summon Calamity on the opponent's turn. And while Hulk and Chaos Ruler were the bigger problems, it goes to show that Calamity was always bound to be abused in this manner. So even if you ban the Crimson Dragon now, at some point, people will find new ways to abuse Calamities with new cards that Konami creates.
So I made a video on this, chat, which I better put this video out before they actually do ban the card. Here it is right here, King Calamity. And yeah, and research is like that exact play, the play that Dark Emperor just showed, it happened in the German national finals, game 3. He just won. He made a Chaos Ruler, Hulk, and then he just went Calamity, and his opponent didn't have the out, and he just won. That's the exact. He made this exact play in the finals and just won off of it.
Furthermore, we've been through this situation before, and Konami tried hitting the enablers. I'm talking about the bannings of both Rank Up Magic Argent Chaos Force and Phantom Knight's launch. They both got banned because they summoned monsters who prevented the opponent from playing the game, those being Utopic Zexal and Azathoth. And I'll just say this right now, both of them did not deserve to get banned at all. Launch is the only one you could justify a little bit because at the time there were too many targets, not just Azathoth, since Pendulums used it to make Kali Yuga, and if it was legal during Toss format, Orcus could have used it to turn Dingirsu into true king of calamities. As for Argent Chaos Force, this card had no business being on the ban list. To this day, I'll never understand why the TCG thought it was a good idea to ban this card over S0. Seriously, I look at this card as one of the worst bans in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. You can't really justify it as everyone thought Utopic Zexal would get banned, but instead they go after this card. Like, why? Why not just ban Utopic Zexal at the time? Anyways,
Chat, is it wild when you think about it? Is it wild how many XC monsters have like blanket effects that just turn off entire mechanics or cards? It's like the only mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! That has that. Shockmaster, S0, True King of All Calamities, Kali Yuga, the other Calamity, like it's like 6 cards. They're all anime cards. Rongo Myriad just says like no summoning at all. Like Xyz really is the most broken mechanic. When people are like, it's Link. No, it's not. It's Xyz. Like maybe it's because Konami thought, chat, we can make Xyz as busted as we want because when they don't have materials on them, they suck. That's what I think it is. Konami was like, yo, we can make these cards ceilings as high as possible because if they don't have materials, they don't do nothing. But then you make like, Dweller. Yeah, it's like there are so many Xyz that are just broken as fuck. Anyways.
I'm getting off topic. I will say, while banning these two cards solved the problem in the moment, guess what ended up happening? Almost all the cards that were summoned off these two cards became a problem in the future.
Yep.
Azathoth was used to stop hand traps turn 1, Utopic Zexal was easy to summon off the Numeron cards, and would have been way worse if it was legal when we got the Utopia support, and finally, True King of All Calamities dominated an entire format.
It's because Xyz monsters theoretically have a excuse me, Xyz monsters theoretically only have a limited number of times that they can use the effect, where synchros can keep using the effect over and over. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Konami thought inherently, chat, that Xyz monsters were going to be limited, at least from their power, like the power level of the cards, by the fact that like most material, other than like Zodiac or whatever, that most Xyz monsters were probably only going to be able to use their effects twice. And it's like that just did not matter when you made the cards so. I mean, there's a couple. I think what S0 chat, you summon that card with like 4 materials from the Barian or the Numeron field spell. But yeah, that's what I think they thought, is that like, oh, people will just use the effects for like a couple of turns, and it's like that's all you need.
The only one who survived was Kali Yuga, but when Launch came back, Lunalights tried to use this strategy, but it costed too many resources. So Kali Yuga was lucky that it survived. Also, there's one more card that literally does the same thing as King Calamity, and that's Elemental Hero Cosmo Neos. I'll just say this right now, one day, if a new card can summon Kali Yuga or Cosmo Neos on the opponent's turn, they will get banned. It's not a matter of if, but when. So don't be surprised.
I agree with this. And you know what's funny, Dark Emperor? I think to me, the more inevitable one feels like maybe this, like, I know that there's been a lot of shitty replay decks that summon this one, but like, I don't know, man. I mean, Jaden is eventually, like, he's going to get more support, chat. Like, every 3 years or every 2 years, there's going to be a cycle of more Neo/hero support. And, like, eventually, Konami's going to make a fucking quick play that is, like, Shadow Fusion, or that fusion summons, like, from the deck. And, like, this card going to end up getting banned because of it.
Surprised when it happens. Anyways, you see the point I'm making here. Banning the enabler in this situation won't solve the long-term problem. The game is better off banning cards like these, and to be honest, despite how much crap we gave Konami, I think they learned their lesson. Because after 2020, they kind of stopped making cards like this. Since most of them were banned in 2020 or 2021, they stopped making these types of monsters after Protoss and Ishathos and Eternity Code, because that's when these cards would become a problem themselves. All of this proves how King Calamity would still be a problem even if we ban the Crimson Dragon. Now, one counter-argument I see people saying is something like, what's stopping the Crimson Dragon from being broken without Calamity? And to that I say, what else is the Crimson Dragon being used for? And will it top tournaments? The only other thing I've seen people use the Crimson Dragon for is to summon Cosmic Blazar Dragon or shooting Quasar Dragon. But that's just one extra negate, which is way easier to deal with than a monster who can stop you from using all your cards. Even if a new card comes out that the Crimson Dragon can abuse, I just want to know if it will top tournaments or even worse, dominate the meta. I'm not saying that the Crimson Dragon can't get banned, it probably will. I just want to see the results for when that happens. But in this situation, I think banning Calamity is better. Anyways, I think I've argued enough for why I think the Crimson Dragon shouldn't be banned, and that's pretty much all I have to say about this subject. I hope you guys...
I mean, I gotta be honest. This video for... I got a clap in the chat, even though I know none of you guys will give a clap. There you go, Anime Night. Thank you, sir. I gotta say, this video, for someone who has literally not posted a video in months, this video has done pretty well. Because the first thing I thought was like, oh, that's a good amount of thumbs up, but like, again, you only have 1,000 subs and you're over that, and you're in just 5 days. Like, that's a lot of engagement, especially when you haven't summoned. I'm reading this. When you haven't made a video in like forever. Like, that's pretty good. Tagging out Crimson Dragon or tagging out Crimson into Quasar was intentional anyways. Yeah, that's probably like, I mean, they designed Crimson Dragon for some reason, right? Like, I don't think they just designed it to be Bat Chess anime. It also did come out in the same set as TG support. So Konami probably wanted you to, like, be able to summon Quasar and Blazar and shit a lot easier. So, like, that's not necessarily a problem.